Okay, here we go. So this is a little background about who we are at the California Urban Forest Council. What we do every day, what we try to achieve, and we do that through education and outreach, tree planting programs, with a focus on public health, economic health, and environmental health. Next slide, please. Okay, I think we're switching computers here. There's a delay in this one. Okay, so sorry. Here we go. So this is our vision. We envision a thriving and prosperous California communities transformed by healthy trees and green spaces. And then the mission and it demonstrates how we intend to do that, how we work on our programs every day across California in a very collaborative method with partnerships that are so important. Next slide. So we have 7 regional councils. You all may already participate with the councils, but if you don't, you should check it out. They're local, they're affiliated with us, but they also are very independent and focused on what's going on in their region. And then we come together for a broader California focus as well. Next slide, please. So here are some of our programs currently, or those that we've recently completed. And these have all been funded through CAL FIRE Urban Community Forestry grants, the California Climate Initiative, addressing carbon sequestration and avoidance first and foremost, but all of the other benefits trees deliver on as well. So you can see we planted thousands of trees, and we are continuing to do that. We have a couple new programs that aren't online yet, but will continue to contribute. And it's really important, once again, we partner with cities, we partner with local community groups, and try to make it something that they own, that they feel engendered to continue and see the benefits for their communities over the long haul. Next slide. So we create tools, and we're going to go through these. These are 3 of them that are on our website, and you can go check out. Next slide. And we also do advocacy. You saw Senator Ana Caballero yesterday. We gave her a special award because she doesn't work in urban forestry, but she did something really amazing for urban forestry. And so there's new funding now for CAL FIRE through your California state taxes, where you can contribute to CAL FIRE urban and community forestry projects. Next slide. So education, outreach, awareness are really 3 important pillars of who we are and what we would do if we never planted another tree. Next slide. And next. So through all of these large-scale regional tree planting programs with cities across California, we do local trainings with interested volunteers, and they graduate and they become a member of the California Tree Team. So they learn all about urban forestry, why trees are important, and they're trained to help us run events when the ultimate tree planting occurs in these communities. Next slide. So this is also part of that training, a little bit of field work. Next slide. And we also have an amazing group of videos available for you to use on our website, focused on the right tree in the right place, how to plant a tree, how to care for trees. And if you want to do door-to-door outreach into your communities, there's a cute little video about how to do canvassing as an advocate. Next slide, please. So we have a series of webinars. They are also captured on our website, so you can go take a look at them. And they really range from basic introduction to urban forestry to how to manage risk, human health, and the heat issues that we're focusing on in California and across the country. So really experts in the field, great way to spend your time if you want to learn a little bit. And those will continue to happen as we move forward. Next slide. Next slide. So one of the things we helped create was the iTree planting calculator. CAL FIRE supported us in doing this. We had money left over in a grant, and we refocused it on helping to rebuild Dr. Greg McPherson's tree calculator, carbon tree calculator from years ago. We brought in Kalaine Ravden, Davey Institute, and others. And, you know, it's moved well beyond our hands into the hands of professionals. And many of you use this every day, especially with your CAL FIRE grants. So we're really proud that we were able to help make that occur. Next, please. And next. So if you go to our website, you'll see this California Climate Investment Tree Map, and it's really interesting. And it has virtually all of the trees that have been planted through CAL FIRE's Urban Community Forestry program since 2014. And you can zoom right in, right to the street level, and see what those trees are doing, what they'll be doing over 40 years. And you can also see which groups have planted those trees in what communities. So it's a great fun thing to do and really informative, a great political tool if you're talking to elected officials, demonstrating the value of trees in your community. Next, please. And next, please. So one of the things we helped develop with our Inland Urban Forest Council quite some time ago now, and it is managed by the Inland Council, is the Urban Forest Management Plan Toolkit. But it's a great free resource where you, and whether you're a city or you manage open space or you manage a golf course or homeowners association, you can go in and plan through step-by-step process how you're going to manage your trees. And so great resources, how to bring other teams in, how to work together to set your goals and then implement your plan. So I've super simplified that, but it's a great resource. Lots of cities, universities, and others have used this. And even professionals who aren't specifically associated with us use it to help them work in other capacities. So it's a great tool. Go have a look at it. Next, please. And next. So here's the sample of some of our amazing newsletters that Deb Etheridge, who is behind the scenes here today, creates and sends out to you folks every month. We try and engage you. We also try and bring you important information. And if you're not on our e-newsletter, go to the website, you can sign up, and it's in the little top ribbon at the far right, I think. So you'll get regular communication, whether it's newsletters or other important things that we feel we need to get out to you. Next, please. And now here are some of our outreach materials that Deb has created, and they're really informative. We include science from researchers from the Forest Service and elsewhere around the country that support urban forestry, and we label them in such a way as people can relate to them. So growing great neighborhoods, growing trees and city assets, grow great grades with greenery. All of this has great information for you to use when you're trying to get people to understand the benefits of trees. And we will also co-brand these for you. So if you look at the bottom, you can see our sponsors and our partners, but we can also put a city logo and a city URL, or other organizations' logos and URLs. So you can use this as your own, and you become partner in the whole Invest from the Ground Up marketing that we use. Next, please. Next slide, please. Oh, there we go. So here are some other things that we have that have been an outgrowth of some of our tree planting events. We have magnets. We have other things that you can download and share. We do many things in both English and Spanish, and if need be, we would translate into other languages as well. And you can see here, there's tree care tips for people too. So all of these are on our website. Next, please. Next. So we do really try and keep in mind the communities we serve, and recognizing that California is diverse and we have different needs and different opportunities and different people that we want to embrace and be involved with. So it is a part of who we are and what we try and do. And CAL FIRE really helps motivate thinking around this through its grant process. So it's a great influence and a great partnership. Next, please. So we have a recent campaign. We do create campaigns, and this one is Save Our Trees and Save Our Water, drought awareness. And we have an amazing amount of information there for you, things you can download, social media, memes, and other things that you can use to message around saving trees and saving water. So that's one campaign that we've launched recently. Next, please. Back in, 2015? I get my years blur together, but we had the last drought, and we were really successful with the older version of this infographic. It was called Help Your Trees Survive the Drought, and many water districts sent it out in their bills. It's still hanging on a lot of water districts' websites, and even went international. So we do try to get the right messages out to get people to respond and make a difference in communities and save trees. And these are other things that we have now in our water campaign, our Save Trees, Save Water campaign, that you can download and use on Facebook, Instagram, etc. So Deb's really gone the extra mile there. And so this is another campaign that we did, and it's still really essential, and it's called Trees Are Essential. And when COVID hit and a lot of cities were cutting budgets for trees, urban forestry, parks and rec, we did a little survey, and it was interesting to see about how people look at nature, how they began to value nature more and having access to nature, and for all the reasons that we know as people in urban forestry. But it was also interesting that people who responded did not see their cities necessarily changing their practices in terms of trees and tree care based on what the citizens needed and what the citizens want. So we do have our work cut out for us, people. Okay, next. So here's another one. You can go and download screen zoom backgrounds. This is one of many, Confirmed Tree Hugger. So these are fun to have in your back pocket there. And here are some other things, other advocacy tools. So we actually have PowerPoints that you can go and use to train people about how to become advocates, and other tools. We're moving along quickly here. So that's it in a nutshell. There's so much more. We have a great board of directors. We have amazing people all over California that really care about this and who come and play with us. And we're looking for more good people to participate and learn and enjoy and partner and make a difference in California. So with that, we're about to introduce a new video that relates directly to our Amplify the Urban Forest program, which is also called Circle 4.0. And next spring, we, with our many partners, will be planting 2,000 trees in 30 cities in one day because we are certifiably insane. And with that, we have partners such as Taylor Guitar. So we have West Coast Arborists, the Britain Fund, Western Chapter, ISA, and many others. Please forgive me because my brain is overtaxed right now. But one of our partners is Taylor Guitar. And so one of their very talented musicians who uses their urban wood guitar has created this video, and it's really enjoyable. So take a moment and we're about 3 minutes for this very inspirational video by Baby Wolf. Thank you.
Yes, so we're at the big tree in Glendora. This is a great example of the right tree in the right place. It was planted in, I think, 1880, so it's like 150 years old. And we're here because I have an environmental protest project, which I've been working on for a while now, which comes out next year, be at the London Design Biennale. And it's basically a way of presenting 800,000 years of historic data, specifically CO2 in the atmosphere, as a sort of woven timeline and a protest song and a reimagining of the music video format. So that's sort of why we're at this big tree. John, where are we?
Right now we are at a urban wood recycling facility for West Coast Arborists in California.
Nice. So you've got sycamore, redwood,
Sequoia sempervirens. Above that, deodar cedar. We've got ficus right here, more redwood, the state tree.
And some chamois ash over there.
And some chamois ash over there.
So you were saying there's, what, like 30 species?
Yeah, the average city in California has about 150 species that are regularly planted. With certain cities like San Luis Obispo or San Diego, they have over 900 different species. So we've found about 45 or 50 species that are, generally around, that have a high-end use and that are worth capturing, and they're more valuable as a wood product instead of as firewood or mulch. They say about half the weight of dry wood is pure carbon. So, like, let's say, for example, this weighs 2,000 pounds. There's 1,000 pounds of carbon being stored inside the wood, So if you make firewood, it all goes back up into the air. If you make a wood product, it almost works like a carbon bank, right? The tree grows, absorbs the carbon, then it gets stored. This is the best looking Swiss bank I've ever seen.
I totally agree.
You take this out here, you make a little tree well, pop this baby out, plant it in the ground, and 60 years later, maybe even more, you have a guitar to play.
We planted the tree over there just because it felt like a good spot based on not being near any power lines and not being around any other big trees, but also, as you can see, it's kind of a place that could do with some shelter from the sun and just another tree in general. So, yeah. So we're here in Koreatown, and I'm standing under a deodar cedar, and I feel like, particularly for a day like this is the perfect tree to find. Amazing shade, amazing species, and I feel like this school is going to be super happy to have a tree like this. So it's pretty amazing. There are so many trees hidden in plain sight in the streets of LA that we often don't think about sort of stopping and celebrating.
They figured out that chamois ash was, the most similar to the mahogany of 20 to 30 years ago. It's prolific down here in Southern California, and so it just was like a magical thing that happened. And they realized that, there is a higher end use for this chamois ash that was once going in the green waste stream. Pretty special.
Meeting Bob Taylor and learning more about the ethos and just how much, he's been a big part and very instrumental in sort of seeing, just seeing the landscape differently and really supporting, forests and planting of trees, but also the right kind of planting of trees. And then also thinking about how trees that would otherwise just be like discarded and thrown away can become a guitar like this, So sort of learning more about what they were doing in this area, particularly with this project from Green to Red, it just felt like a really wonderful fit of something I was already really passionate about and working on. And then, you know, it was kind of a nice aside that the guitar I was playing on just happened to be one of these new examples of thinking differently about the urban landscape and sort of giving, you know, value where it didn't used to exist.